everyone, and welcome down to episode number 106 on New Year's Eve of the Down South Photo Show with me, Brendan Waits, here in Ocean Grove, Victoria, Australia, and the dude on the other screen or in your other ear if you're listening to the podcast. It's Cam Blake in Hobart, Tasmania, Australia. Hello, Cameron.
Hello, Brendan. Now, you said you were going to have a little party thingo for New Year's Eve. Have you got one? You do have one. I knew you would. You are the king. You are the king of props. You are.
Well, that's it. Oh, king of prop.
King of prop.
It's the only prop I've used all year.
I don't think you want to be referred to any reference to the king of pop, would you?
No, not at all. It's New Year's Eve. We're putting this out on New Year's Eve because we can. So
we can. Does that mean we can get drunk now?
Yes, it definitely does. What are you downing there? I'm Canadian clubs at the moment.
Thank you to our wonderful beer donators.
Yes.
I'm still sucking on a slab of Bogue's Premium that's been sitting there. So thank you. We might try and get through a few of them tonight.
Yes, we will. It'll be good. I hope you good people at home, have got yourself a little brandy or a little schnapps or a glass of champagne. Glass of champagne is popular on New Year's Eve, or if, of course, you don't partake, a nice beverage of some other description, non-alcoholic.
Hey, you know what's going off at the moment? 5-star Dan worded me up on these.
Yes.
Hard Solo.
Now, I've seen this.
Have you? Well, he's told me it's the bee's knees. It's the duck's guts.
Right.
He said it's like drinking Solo, but you get a bit tipsy on it.
Right.
So the other day I was in Sheffield up in northwest Tasmania doing a shoot at Cradle Mountain, and he rang me. He goes, "Have you tried Hard Solo yet?" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't think they've got it here in Tassie." And over the road is the Sheffield pub, and I was just staying in the motel. So I got up, went across the road, went into the bottle shop. It was like asking for candy. It was like really a bit embarrassing. Mm-hmm. And the lady goes, "Oh, we've sold out of that. That sells out every time we get it." I'm like, "Oh," she goes, "But we've got it on tap." And I said, "I'm in a tank."
Got it on tap.
They got it on tap. I had tank top, thongs, and board shorts on. I thought probably not. I'm probably overdressed for the Sheffield pub. So I didn't partake, but apparently that is the bee's knees of stuff. Okay. So Hard Solo could be the way it goes, apparently.
Yeah, I don't understand why people from overseas think Australians have a drinking problem. I don't understand that.
We don't. We just have a country that's got a drinking problem. We don't.
Yeah,
the country
that's
does.
right. We just put alcohol in soft drink, no problem.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Right.
Apparently they're
he says has his CC and dry.
Yeah. Apparently they're going to stop making this Hard Solo, and they have to rename it because of that exact reason. Because people think it's a soft drink, and then they're eight cans in and can't realize why they can't walk straight.
Yeah, I'm surprised that George Lucas hasn't arced up after they called it Hard Solo. But
yeah, that's true.
Maybe he did. Maybe
he might still. You never know.
He does have all the money in the world after all. Thank you to all our 731 subscribers on the YouTubes for liking, sharing, following along. Now, last week I might have said that we had something around 16,000 views on YouTube. I was a little bit out. About half. We've actually just passed 30,000 views on YouTube, which is yay us. Yeah, no one else is going to pump our tires.
That deserves a blow iron trumpet. There we go. Hey, actually, when you mentioned it last week, I thought we hadn't moved because I thought that's what it was.
Yeah. No,
30,000. You know what?
I think I was confusing the audio with the YouTuber.
Well, we do that anyway. We confuse the audio and the video all the time on this show.
We do. This is true.
Hey, 30,000 downloads. We still don't have a sponsor. We still don't have any new jingles, and we still don't have any guests. How the hell is this show actually working?
Look, good things come to those who wait, and our audience, I know, is very patient and very loyal. So we'll be right. We'll get there.
You know what? Any success that we've had, I'm attributing to the fact that there's no other podcast out there that people want to listen to in regards to photography. As soon as someone puts together a half decent photography podcast in Australia, we are.
But you know what's happened? Because we've stuck at it and we're at episode 106. These people are looking at it going, yeah, let's do a podcast. Oh my God, we're 106 episodes behind. No, I can't be asked.
Or they're watching us and they're like, they're 106 episodes in. Surely they're going to crash. It's it's like an ultra slow car crash in slow motion of this show. It's like, when are they going to stuff something up or really offend someone, or who knows? We try to offend people, but people they all seem to think we're sort of like a couple of jokers, but really like
we're certainly a couple of jokers. Did you have a good Christmas, Cameron?
I did. Yeah, I had a pretty good Christmas. It was very
Good.
low key.
Yep.
It's just the family. We didn't go back to Melbourne. We usually go back to Melbourne, but we decided to stay home for the next few years.
Good one.
So yeah, it was a stunning day. We had a beautiful Christmas day. And we had some nice ham. We had some nice turkey, some nice roast veggies,
Nice.
a couple of drinks, a few chockies. The kids got visited by Santa, and Santa was quite generous this year.
Right. Good on you,
So
Santa.
yeah, so we had a really good day, and then we checked in with people online. FaceTime people, Zoom called people. Did I call you? I don't know. I can't remember. Might have been
Probably not. Why would
probably.
you? We do this on a weekly. So.
I know. It's Christmas every time I speak to you.
Hey.
So yeah, how about you? You had a good day? You
Yeah,
have a good
pretty.
you always have a good Christmas, don't you? You're a big
Yeah,
Christmas person.
we're normally pretty family oriented. So I was
Mm.
lucky enough to have my old man down come and stay with us for a few nights, which was
Right.
great.
Is that
Um,
Jeff? Jeff?
that's Jeff. That's
Yes.
correct. Well,
Yep.
well done, Cameron.
Mm.
Very good
Yeah.
memory.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jeff, who won't be watching because he doesn't, but that's fine.
No.
Um, so it was really good to have, for the kids to have their granddad here and
Yep.
sorry, their pa here, and for me to have my old man here. And no, similar. We ate, we drank, and we were merry. It was fantastic. Just a really good, solid Christmas day. A lot of
Yep.
fun. A lot of festive cheer actually at our place. It was wonderful.
Was there any beanballs bowled? Any beamers? Is there
No
any cricket?
backyard cricket. No
Oh,
backyard cricket. No,
right.
no.
Oh, oh.
Bit of a story behind that. I won't go into it on this, but no backyard cricket this year, which was a bit disappointing because I'm ready
Uh,
to go.
I
I
know
limped it up and everything.
you've done it. You've done an injury, haven't you?
No, I have not.
All right, tell us.
Um,
Hey, you were meant to tell me something off air last episode too,
was I?
about something your friend was getting for Christmas that you weren't allowed to tell me, and then you'll tell me off air, then you forgot all about it.
Oh, I'll have to go and watch the episode from last week to refresh my memory. There's a lot
Ooh,
going on, Cameron.
that'll make six people that's watched it now.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Um, Look, it's New Year's Eve. Now, some of you may be out with your cameras setting
Oh,
up for a fireworks extravaganza.
yeah.
So Cam and I thought we might give you a few tips and pointers on how to shoot fireworks displays.
As
Now,
he Googles how to shoot fireworks.
come on, Cameron, you're
Well,
all over it. You are all over it. First of all, if you haven't already, now we're probably going to put this out New Year's Eve morning, so you can plan a little.
no.
We won't put
Oh,
it out.
really?
No, we're not going to put it out at 3 seconds to
But
midnight.
aren't we recording this live New Year's Eve?
Of course we are. That's right, we are.
Mm.
1994. And so the first thing you want to do is get your spot. That is crucial. You have to stake out your
Yes,
spot.
it
You're going
is.
to have to be that person that spreads their tripod out in the prime spot. Did I mention you have to take a tripod? Right. Let's start with gear. You have to have a tripod.
Well, hang on, let's go back one step. Let's
Oh,
see,
even
let's
more.
go back because today on the radio, this is so topical. On the radio, so anyone that lives in New South Wales and in
Mhm.
Sydney who wants to go see what's behind Brendan there, the big, probably as much as I hate to say this, it's probably the best fireworks display in the world, the Sydney ones. I reckon they always look incredible with that bridge.
They do.
But apparently this year you can only reserve your spot in like one or two vantage points. The rest of it is free willy. You got to go there and fight tooth and nail for your spot. So there was an announcement today saying that you need to get out real early. So I'm picking like lunchtime to get your spots. But
Well,
picnic rug, take a big picnic rug and
yes.
it's like a big footprint. And then you just say you
Yes.
got a big family that's coming later. And
That's right. No,
so
and just
anyway,
just sit there and maybe put on some cricket on the radio or something,
just drink
or
cans.
true, play some tunes, just hang out there. The good thing about most fireworks displays is quite often they will have an early fireworks display
The kids ones, the kiddie
for
ones.
the kiddies.
Mm.
Sydney do a 9:30, Melbourne do a 9:30. I think even my local area,
Hobart,
Geelong, do a
Hobart,
Hobart do.
it's 1983, but it's still a 9:30.
Perfect.
Mm.
And I would actually hazard a guess that the one behind me was part of the 9:30 display, given how much light there is still in the sky there. So,
Well, it's a good point you raise there because I've found the same with my one behind here. If you want to get proper, really good New Year's Eve fireworks, I've noticed over the last few years that the first display, which is generally the kids one at 9:30, it generally tends to be the better one because it's not pitch black. There's still a bit of color in the sky, so you
yeah,
can actually get some effects like we've got behind our shots here. So if you don't want to sit up to midnight, but you still want to get some pretty good shots, highly recommend getting the early one. Then you can sort of just pack up and enjoy the night, really.
Exactly. Or you can
Mm.
practice on the
Well,
kids'
the next one.
ones and
Yeah.
be prepared for the big show.
Mm.
Camera settings, Cam, what would you use to shoot fireworks?
Well, first of all, yes, definitely tripod.
Yes.
I normally would shoot, and I haven't shot many fireworks. I sort of wing it a bit.
Yep.
I would normally shoot in manual mode.
Yes.
I want to try and control my shutter speed to give it a few seconds because the fireworks take off and they go in the sky, then they explode. So I usually try and get something like around about 4 to 6 seconds of some sort of
Perfect.
action. I would have my ISO. Again, it would depend on the time of night as well, or if it's a really bright region or little bits of, lots of ambient light around you. But I would say something like about 400 ISO would be maybe a good way to start off with.
Hmm.
I would use the self timer as well. So don't, if you've got a cable release, that'd be great. Um, and then autofocus can be a bit of a tricky one as well, because if you're trying to press the button, it's trying to focus on a dark sky before the firework goes off. That's not going to work. So
If you're
it's a little
lucky
bit,
enough to be in Sydney, though, you might be able to
that's
preempt
right,
that and focus on
on the
the big
bridge or
coat
something.
hanger there.
Yeah. Otherwise, similar to how you would shoot Astro, go into manual mode, and shoot your auto. So turn your autofocus off and do manual focus to infinity should be okay.
Yep.
If you find that it's missing that a bit, you might back it off, or you might focus on something over the other side of the bay there, or on the other side of the river, so you get a bit of a distance there. As for F number, that plays around a bit with me. I couldn't tell you off the bat what it would be, but I generally sort of start at like F8 or F11.
Yeah.
And that way it gives you a bit of room either way to either open it up and go faster shutter speed, or shut it down and get a slower shutter speed. But
Yep.
um, that'd be better. I'd take all my filters off. I would
Yeah.
have no filters on,
No. So
and give myself plenty of
unlike
room.
you in real life, Cam, no filter. Hey.
And I would give myself a bit of room. That's one thing I've noticed at fireworks, because it gets really busy.
Yep.
Try and make sure you've got yourself a good bit of space. We shot some fireworks on our Kakadu workshop a couple of months ago in Darwin, when we got back to Darwin. And it was all on the foreshore there, and we got on these little sand dunes, and it was only that we spread ourselves out that we actually gave ourselves plenty of room. There was other people on the beach, so we're all next to each other, and they're moving around, and they're sort of dodging each other to get things out of their bag. So give yourself a bit of room. If there's other photographers there, be wary of them as well. People get a bit nancy on New Year's Eve with fireworks if you get in their way or you knock their camera. So give everyone a wide berth.
Yep.
Yeah. Did I cover
As
everything?
with most things in photography, the old PPP, prior preparation prevents piss poor
Just for
performance,
performance. Yes, I love
which
that.
is like PPPP. I hate that saying, by the way. One of my bosses said that to me once, and I could have punched him in the face. But that's another story. I like
Piss poor performances result in punches in face.
correct.
Hmm.
That's right.
Hmm.
Lens selection for me would be, I would like to have a little bit of zoom if I could, just so I've got a bit of versatility in the moment, because
Yeah.
you won't have long. Like, if you're in Sydney, you're going to have 20 minutes of
Yeah.
a fireworks display, which is why everyone should at least once in their life have a crack at photographing the city fireworks. Because if you can't get a good fireworks display with that going on,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, you probably photography might not be your thing.
Well,
But
it is easy to stuff up though.
oh no, it is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that lightheartedly. What I'm
No.
saying is give yourself a bit of preparation. So have like a zoom, if we're talking, say, a 24 to 100 in 35
Yep.
mil speed range would be good, I reckon.
Yeah.
You might want to isolate a couple of little areas. You might, for example, the photo behind Cam, the fireworks all happening sort of right over the harbour there. So maybe a slightly tighter crop.
That's about as big as they get in Hobart.
There you go. So maybe a slightly tighter crop there on that image.
Can you see all the Sydney to Hobart boats there? That's where they all pull up. So you have the Sydney to Hobart boat race.
Wunderbar, little
Yeah.
carnival.
It is a carnival.
Yeah.
Something else that is really cool about focal length as well, so at BFOP this year, Bright Festival of Photography, make sure you get your tickets for next October. They had a whole fireworks displayed. Oh, you were there. But like I was saying, it's not always simple to get fireworks. And even though this was a big festival of photography and we had about 20 professionals wandering around to help people, I still heard people yelling out, "Oh, I'm not getting it. I'm just getting a black screen," or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
do a little bit of research before you go out, because
Yeah.
like we say, it sounds pretty straightforward. But to be honest, I reckon fireworks are up there with lightning. They're a little bit tricky and a little bit
Yeah.
hit and miss.
Yeah.
But getting back to your focal length, something else you can do, which is cool, is you can actually zoom out or zoom in when the fireworks are going off, and you get that sort of explosion coming into the lens. Looks pretty cool as well.
Definitely. Good
Hmm.
tips all around, I think. Well, that pretty much tops it off. But I think using your self timer is really important so that
Yeah,
because you will be working quickly, and that generally leads to camera shake. So
yeah,
just a 2 second self timer. And look, preempting is tough.
yeah.
The fireworks
Hmm.
displays aren't the same. There's no two are the same. So preempting when things are going to go off, so to
A-
speak, could be a
And
little
so,
tricky.
and something else that can play around with you a bit with fireworks. One thing I try and take note of is the wind direction.
Yeah.
So even though the fireworks go off, they'll fade to a certain direction into the wind, but they'll also create a lot of smoke that goes into that wind. So if you're sort of downwind from where the fireworks are, you're going to get a lot of disturbance in front of the fireworks. So if you can get yourself in a viewpoint that's side on to the wind, that would make a big difference. And you can sort of do practice shots beforehand. So for example, that bridge behind Brendan there, you could always do a couple of shots just to get the exposure on that bridge right. And if you get the exposure on the bridge right, you're pretty much close to the mark on what the fireworks going to look like. You can do some quick tweaking. But yeah, so you can do some practice shots beforehand. Don't just leave it to the first firework to snap off a frame and see what's going on. Take a few test shots, make sure the lights look okay, make sure you got your composition all okay and stuff like that. So yeah,
Excellent. How spectacular is that, by the way?
it's a
That's a
pretty good,
beaut.
that's a great shot of yours.
Yeah. It's thanks Google. I've never seen the fireworks in Sydney. I'd like to. Look,
Next,
fireworks,
next
they're
year,
not
we're
really
going to,
my thing, but they're
next
pretty
year
cool.
we're running a competition on dsps.com.au next year.
Hmm.
You get to go see the Sydney fireworks with us.
That's right, exactly on a TV screen.
Yes, at a pub somewhere.
Correct, and probably in Hobart.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Sounds good to me.
Look, it's been a big year. 2023 came at us with a rush. I can't believe we're at the end of it already. Everyone says that every year. So it's been a really exciting time, particularly for the Down South Photo Show. Things, as we all know, and we talk about regularly, are growing, which is exciting
Mm,
for us. But we thought we'd have a bit of a reflection
mm,
back onto 2023, the year that was, have a bit of a chat about
mm.
what we did, what we liked, what we didn't like, all that sort of stuff. We thought we'd talk a bit about gear, like what gear came out this year that excited us. Not much, to be perfectly honest. And also,
iPhone
yeah,
15.
just reminisce a little over our little Canadian Club and Dry and our James Bogues
James
and
Bogues. Yeah.
whatever the listeners or viewers are watching. Now, I would like to make a special mention right now. If you are listening to the show on got your headphones in, or you're driving in the car and you can't see us, a little later on, Cam and I are going to put up our favorite 5 photos of the
Mm.
year that each of us took.
And we are
So
going to explain every one of them in great
that's
detail,
right. We're going to
so
give you
that
the 1,000 words.
so you can picture them in your brain as you're
That's
driving
right.
along, exactly what that photo is.
Yeah. So if you are listening, we do encourage you to maybe jump on the YouTubes and check
Yeah,
out the visual version of this, maybe on New Year's Day tomorrow when you're when you're resting.
yeah. And the kids are barking at you, wanting to go for a ride on their bike, or
That's right. Exactly.
there's nothing worse than that, is there?
That.
Hmm.
2023, Cam, did you acquire any new gear in 2023?
Uh, I think I did. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I did.
Mhm.
I got a big giant white lens.
You certainly did. Now
Yeah.
that I think that has been a real feather in your bow, or a real arrow in your I don't know, in your arsenal. I was going to say, but
Arsenal.
that didn't sound quite right. But anyway,
Is it a quiver? Is it a quiver? Is that where they keep arrows? Is
well
that a
done.
quiver? Is
It
that a
is.
quiver? Yeah.
Well, by the way, if you see me doing this a lot, it's
Yeah.
because my son got a gaming chair for Christmas, and I'm swiveling a lot. Anyway, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
your new
yeah.
big white lens.
So I got a new big white lens, which was a bit of a game changer. That was a big investment in buying that, but it sort of came about pretty funny because I had no intention of buying it as quickly as I did. I was going to sort of pay it off over a few months, and then our good friend at DigiDirect, Mark, from DigiDirect Melbourne, rang me up like 2 weeks later. Says, "Oh, I've got your lens here." I'm like, shit, that doesn't help because I don't have the money here. Anyway, we worked it out, but so that was a big purchase for me, and yeah, it's definitely been a game changer, and I'm really happy with it. I think the quality out of it's fantastic. It tracks really well. It's super fast tracking. Attracts birds and animals and things like that really well through the OM1. So that was a really big purchase for me. And then what else did I get? I can't remember. I sold some gear this year. I got rid of my Leica,
Hmm.
sold that and all the lenses. And as of yesterday, I may have bought another camera
Okay.
because I'm a bit stupid. But
Care to
that's that.
share?
Yeah, I'm care to share. This is the third or maybe the fourth time I've bought this camera. Would you believe? And I know what people are going to be saying. They're going to be slapping their face, going, "This guy's
Why?
an absolute twat." And yes, I am. So I bought the Fuji GFX 100S, and
Again.
again, and the reason why I bought it again is because I think apart from my Olympus system that I have, which is super versatile and I can use that for 99.9% of my stuff, I think the Fuji GFX system is probably the best system out there in regards to file quality.
Mm.
The quality and detail that comes out of these files and the GFXs are really, really amazing. So, but the reason why I bought it, I had no intentions of buying it until again, DigiDirect, who don't sponsor the show, who should, because we probably send tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars through them every year. Um, they had a sale on, and so this GFX 100S usually retails for around about $8,000 for the body, which
Hmm.
is ridiculously expensive. And then I saw it online for like 6,800 or something. I'm like, gee, that's a pretty big discount. So I got on a message to Mark. I said, "Oh, are they discontinuing this?" He goes, "No, no, they're just trying to move them." So I said, "Well, okay, well, that's the public price. What's Cam's price?" So he came back and it was significantly lower again.
Good.
And I went, "Oh, okay, that's really interesting." And he said, "Oh, by the way, Fuji are also doing $1,300 cash back on this body."
Goodness me, they're giving the thing away.
So I'm like, "Well, this is only going to cost me a couple of $1,000 to get this body. I'd be crazy not to."
Yeah.
So I did. So, but what I've decided to do, instead of investing into that whole system again with lenses and the whole rigmarole, I'm just going to rent one lens, a wide angle zoom lens, and I'm just
Yep.
going to rent that for 6 months and just give it a bit of a whirl and see how I go. And then if I like that lens, I might go and buy one or something like that. But yeah, this is the fourth time I'm pretty sure I've bought a GFX, but I look at the files I've still got on my camera on my computer from earlier days when I had one, and they are spectacular files.
Yeah.
Um, and they do print extremely well. And it's just a good, I think it's just something nice to have. I've got my really portable, versatile Olympus system, which is great. But then I've also got this one. If I want to try and do some really nice shots with massive prints, I want to try and do or whatever, it works really well. So I'd be crazy. It was crazy not to go and get one. And I actually just saw when I was on Facebook before, there's another photographer who I know of, Louise Denton, who's up in Darwin, lovely lady and a really good landscape photographer. She just posted that she bought one as well.
There you go.
So I think there's a few of us that might have gone, "Oh, hang on a sec, that's a pretty damn good deal."
Yeah. No, look, it's a wonderful setup, and
Mm.
anything that's full frame digital is going to, you know, do a good job. But Fuji in general, and I think
Well,
where Fuji
this is medium format too.
medium format, there you go. So it's
So it's
even bigger than full frame.
102 megapixels.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
crazy. Over a medium format sensor, which is amazing. I think where Fuji do it so well is the way that they can mimic their film stock digitally.
Yes, which is what I
Um,
really like about the system. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, 100%. I mean, you can shoot in Fujichrome on that thing,
Yeah.
which is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is always produced in my for my money, the best. It's the best E6 system that's out there,
Yeah.
Fujichrome. I every time someone comes in with a stack of slides from the 70s or
Mm.
80s, and it's all Fujichrome, I know I'm just going to scan up beautifully. So
Yeah. Well, that's
I
the thing
love,
as
love that
well.
stuff.
The very first GFX I bought a few years back, I remember I put it into Provia, Fuji Provia mode, which is an
Yeah,
E6
nice.
film.
Yeah,
And I took a photo at Cradle Mountain. And when I got home and I looked through the viewfinder, and the viewfinder, I kid you not, it looked like it was a slide loop.
yeah,
And that's what sold me on it. It looked like nothing to the level of Peter Dombrovskis, but it had the same color and feel to it.
yeah.
And I couldn't stop looking at this file where I shot up in Cradle Mountain. I'm like, this file looks like a slide, and
Mm.
that's what sold me on it. Was just that it is a really very very close true representation of what old school E6 looks like.
I think
So
there's a lot to be said for companies that stay true
Yeah.
to photographers and to photography in terms of
Yeah.
Fuji have got the wood on everyone because they can reproduce the film that they actually use to
Yeah.
manufacture. But I think that's what I really dig about Olympus as well, artist formerly known as Olympus,
Mm.
is they the build of their cameras very much mirrors the old OM system
Yeah.
cameras.
That's right.
And that retro sort of throwback is quite comforting, I think, in when it's in your hands and
Yeah.
you know what you're going to get from them. That's not to say, I mean, Canon and Nikon, I actually think Canon and Nikon dropped the ball for a little while, but I think they're
Mm.
having a bit of a renaissance, both of them.
Well,
Um,
if you look, for example, at the Nikon, is it the Nikon F? I think it is.
yeah, yeah,
Like they're food, like you're 100% right. Fuji have gone, keeping in line with their E6 slide
mm,
profiles. That works very well.
mm,
You're right. I think Olympus has kept its pretty much its roots on the same sort of area.
yeah,
But you're right now, like Nikon's brought out cameras now that look like the old FM and Nikon FMs. And Canon, I think, are also designing something at the moment which is going to be similar.
yeah,
Um, but you're right, like it's nice to pick these cameras up and feel familiar
yeah.
with them straight
I
away.
don't care what anyone tells me. If the camera handles well,
Mm,
that's a big chunk of like you're on your way to better photography. If you've got confidence in the way the camera feels, and I know it sounds
mm,
weird because the way you hold or feel a camera doesn't make the image,
yeah,
but in a lot of ways it does because it's a mindset.
yeah,
And you get a camera in your hands that feels familiar, that feels comfortable. I think it goes a long way towards putting you in the right frame of mind to
yeah.
take better pictures. So
It's funny,
um,
yeah.
yeah, hats off to these companies for actually caring about photographers.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm impressed with what's out there right now, even though it's been stripped back a lot because manufacturers are falling over left, right, and center,
mm,
and the compact cameras are done. We know this.
yeah,
So really, it's a big shift on research and development into digital SLR and mirrorless, of course, which has helped because
yeah,
they've actually gone. Hang on, we really need to concentrate on this area of the market because it's pretty
yeah.
much all we've got left now.
That's all they got left. Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah. Where I think some brands have spent the last probably 10 years or so having that megapixel race. That's
Yeah,
been through like Canon, Sony, Nikon have all been racing that. And the other brands like, your Fujis, your Panasonics, your Olympus, even your Leicas to a point, have stayed true to what their general DNA is. They haven't really, like Olympus haven't changed their sensor or their megapixels for God knows how long.
no,
Like they're
no,
like,
that's right.
we're happy with 20 megapixels. That's fine. And I think you're right. These other brands, the bigger brands, are now starting to realize that they've sort of got to the end of one street. They're going to have to go down another one, and that
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that other one is bringing back some old school sort of DNA into cameras and stuff like
Yeah,
that, which
which feels
is
like the
great.
natural evolution of
Mm,
digital photography, which is really cool. I think it works really well.
mm,
As far as gear that I acquired this year, it was early in 2023 where I finally got my mitts on my EM1X.
mm.
Now, I'll be honest, I bought the EM1X because it came with a free 100 to 400 mil lens. So, or was it the other way around? Buy the lens, get the camera. I can't remember now. Whatever.
Yeah, yeah, it was the other
and
way. Yeah,
and
yeah.
it cost me next to nothing to buy
Mm,
this kit. And of course, I had every intention of selling the EM1X
mm.
and just shooting and just keeping the 100 to 400. He says as he produces his EM1X. I love that camera.
Yeah.
I've
Do,
fallen for it.
do
I
you want another,
didn't
do you want
think
another
I
one?
would.
I'll sell you another one if you want.
I didn't think I'd fall for it, and I think the reason I've fallen for it is because it suits these stupid big man hands that
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
got.
Yep.
It fits me really well. It fits
Mm,
ergonomically. It fits me,
yep.
and I really like it. I don't ever fit the strap to it. I just hand hold it,
Mm,
and I love it. I've been throwing that thing around and really enjoying it. And I think in a lot of ways by marrying it to the 100 to 400, that's a really well balanced kit
it is.
for,
Yeah.
and then I can just keep the 100 to 400 on the EM1X, put my wide angle on the OM5, and
Yep.
I've got the two bodies and away I go. So
Yep.
yeah,
Will you
happy as Michael.
are you bringing the 100 to 400 in February on our walk?
Yeah, I am.
You are? Okay, excellent. Um, yeah, so that was a great deal. And that I was the same. I bought it for the lens.
Mm,
Got cobwebs on my microphone. Um, I bought it for the lens, and I got rid of the lens, and I've still got the body
Yeah.
because the body marries up really well with that big white lens of mine.
Yeah, if I had to be picky, it could do with the firmware update, but I don't know if they're ever going to do one because I think that was the last line of
Yeah,
those kind
maybe.
of.
Well, I heard a rumor that there's a new camera coming out in 2024 from OM Digital.
Okay, it better
No
not
one,
be an EM2X.
well, no one's telling me,
Okay,
because I'm not in the loop of that place. So,
I'll,
but
I'll I'll get the scoop for you.
yeah, ask your mate; he might know.
I will. He'll know for sure.
Is that all you bought? You bought an iPhone as well,
Oh, does that count?
which ooh, you're so off iPhones, aren't you? That's
I'm
like
I'm really upset with my iPhone 15 Pro.
that's a dirty word for you,
Um,
isn't it?
no,
iPhone.
no, no, no. I think it's the worst iPhone they've ever made. Fight me.
I told who was asking me the other. Oh, Five Star Dan wanted to buy an iPhone. I said, "Oh, don't buy the new one. You need to go
Yeah,
watch episode 104 or
yeah.
something where Brendan tees
I
off on
look
iPhones."
and I'm gonna have a bit of a muck around with the set. It could be me. I could be. I've been that busy lately that I haven't had 2 seconds to look at the settings. But
Maybe you just take shit photos.
there's no doubt about that. But that goes without saying,
Yeah,
Cameron.
yeah,
Um, so moving
yeah.
on, 2023. Cam, what was the best time that we had behind a camera?
As in we, as in
Oh well,
us.
you or me. Like what?
Okay.
Can you recall? I mean, these are questions without notice. We haven't really had a meeting
They
on this,
are. No, we haven't. There's
but
no meeting at all.
did you remember a particular session, a photo
Hmm.
shoot? It could have been, just a
Uh,
sunrise or an aurora or a who knows, anything.
there's
That really got the juices flowing.
yeah.
Uh,
There was
when you get
probably
in the zone.
yeah. There was probably I reckon I had two, maybe even three moments this year where I sort of like I was that impressed. I put the camera down to take it in with my own eyes.
Yeah,
One of them's in our top five or in our five photos that I put up,
yeah,
and that was a sunrise down in the southwest of Tassie. That was early on in the year. We were out on this little boat on this calm as calm could be morning on Bathurst Harbour out there, and this rain cloud just lit up with the sunrise, and like that was one of those moments I just went whoa, and I could see my customer, like you could feel my customers' excitement,
yeah,
and I just put the camera down, and went okay, I'm just going to watch this for a couple of minutes because this is pretty special.
yeah.
And probably the other one was at this end of the year, just probably going through Utah. There was a few moments there where I just put the camera down, and one of the viewpoints at Zion, both Five Star Dan and I both put our cameras down and just went, this is impressive.
Hmm.
So we did that a couple of times. So yeah, probably bookends. There was one at the start of the year and then one at the end
Yeah,
where yeah, where I've just sort of gone, wow, okay, that's pretty cool. So
yeah. That's good.
yeah. What about you? You must have had a few.
Oh, I did. I was really fortunate this year. I felt like 2023 was a comeback year for me behind the lens. Not
Mm,
to say that I've battled for the last couple of years, but what I've battled with the last couple of years is freaking well getting myself out there.
yeah.
And
Retail you battle with.
well, that too, but
Mm,
I think more than anything, at least twice, maybe three times this year, I just went, I'm going to take photos. And
yep.
I actually, instead of taking photos being a bonus, it became the actual focus of the trip, right?
Yep. Yep.
For ages now, and you're in the same boat. Like you got young kids, you get your weekend, you want to have
Mm,
time with the family, which is fantastic.
yeah.
The camera comes along and you might get it out and take a few shots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas when you dedicate, I'm going to take photos. I'm going out for the day. I'm going out for a couple of days. I'm going to
Mm,
hike. I'm going to camp, whatever.
yeah.
Um, two moments that were my top two moments this year. One was the trip I did down to the 12 Apostles.
Yep.
Just chucked all my gear in the van, bailed out mid-morning, and just went, I'm shooting the sunset at the 12 Apostles. It was midwinter. I happened to fluke the sunset that sets right behind the 12 Apostles, and it will be in the top five. That one's going to come up.
Wasn't a fluke, mate. You organized it. Come on.
I honestly had no idea.
Mm,
But that trip yielded not only great photos, but a great experience
yep.
because I went to new places that I hadn't been to. I went and saw the Baker's Oven on the 12
Hey.
on the Great
Yep.
Ocean Road,
Yep.
which I hadn't been to before. I was telling this to a friend the other night, and it was just it got me going again, which I really loved. And going back to the 12 Apostles and shooting when the penguins landed and
Mm,
explaining to this American family that there's penguins here and watching them flip their shit and
mm,
then actually seeing the photos on my screen, it made that connection of a professional photographer again, which I really loved. And super proud of the images and haven't done a thing with them since I took them, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That'll come.
Yeah.
Really, really proud of them. And of course, the other one, and it goes without saying, was night 3 on the Overland. Actually,
Oh,
morning
yes.
4 of the Overland,
Oh, yes.
when you basically looked at me and said, "You're going with him. He's going to take you somewhere,"
Yes.
and took me to the waterfalls.
Oh, yeah. Down to the little grotto there. Yep. With
Yeah, the
Luke.
grotto. That's right.
Yep.
And I think, yeah, look, obviously I would have loved to have spent the whole morning there. We couldn't. We're under time
Mm.
pressure to keep walking. But
Yeah.
that might have been 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was phenomenal just to
Yeah.
be there and see it. Yeah, I got a couple of nice shots.
Yeah.
They're not the greatest photos I've ever taken, but to know that places like that still exist was pretty
Yeah.
bloody awesome.
Yeah. I think between the two of us, I think we both love the same thing, and that's the experience.
Yeah.
Like the photos are just a byproduct of the experience, really. And
Yeah.
that's how everyone really should be shooting. Like, yes, you can go on holidays and go shoot wherever you're going, but that should be the whole journey and the whole experience of where you're going. And then the photos are just that end product of good preparation, a good experience. Whether or not you're sharing it with an American family that, don't know where the penguins are going, or,
Yeah.
me spending it with Dan, my cousin in another country, or spending it with customers, whatever it might be. You'll remember the experience well before you remember the photo you took from it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important, because I think what happens these days is that quite a lot of people chase the photo, not the experience. And for a whole heap of reasons, whether or not it's getting attention online or getting likes or trying to sell stuff or whatever it might be. But I think as soon as you take your eye off that ball of trying to chase the photo and not the experience, I think that's when you stop becoming a photographer, and you actually start, becoming a bit more of a machine of trying to get something for the
Yeah.
sake of it, and you don't enjoy it as much. Like it's like a chore versus an experience. Like
Yeah.
I know sometimes, like I've been out in the last few months, I wouldn't say I've had the photography blues, even though I've been to some incredible spots, but I'm finding in the downtime when I get back from a trip, like I'm like, oh, I wouldn't mind maybe go out and do some photos of that spot. But then I'm like, you know what? I'm just chasing the photo. I'm not actually chasing an experience. And I
Mm.
don't do it because I know I'm just going to drive out somewhere or get out and walk somewhere and not enjoy the experience, because I put all this pressure on trying to get this one shot of something.
Yeah.
You need to let things come a bit more naturally with photography. And I think,
It's funny you should say that, because when we suggested we should put up our 5 favorite photos of the year, I went through and I'm looking at them more, not so much from a good photo point of view, but from a good experience point of
yeah,
view.
exactly. Yeah.
And I think that's what resonates. And I
Yeah.
think if you've had a good experience while you're taking those photos, it'll come through in the image. Like it's just gonna,
100%. That,
so
that 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 is the magic formula to
yeah.
being a good landscape photographer, I reckon,
Yeah.
is if you go out to enjoy the experience, you'll come home with the better photos.
Well, if we just do we have to just end the channel now? Have we just
That's
have
it.
we just answered the fundamental question of,
We have
how to
solved
be a
it
great
pretty much.
landscape photographer?
It's never been that hard.
No.
People have just got to let go of chasing the photo and then, chase the experience.
Well,
Eh,
with that in mind, I think we should just dive into our top
Okay.
5 photos each. What do you think?
Well, as you load them
Where
up, I'm going to go grab another beer. So
okay, all
I'll be,
right. Well, you
you,
do
you keep
that.
talking. You do some
Okay.
filling.
Okay, I'm really good at filling. People know this who listen to the channel, as Cameron disappears into his background to go and find himself more alcohol. I'm going to try and do something that I don't normally do, and that is technology. I'm pretty ordinary at technology, as Cameron will attest to.
What
So
have you
I'm going to
done?
try and share this screen
All right.
and go share. Did that
Uh,
work?
that's a big dick pic, mate. What's going on?
Yeah.
Whoops, wrong folder.
Yeah. Oh dear. So we're going to go shot for shot. Hopefully, I've organized these okay. This says shot A, so it's mine. We're going
Well,
to start here, and then we'll do
that's
one of
pretty
Cam's.
technical.
Thank you
A
very
and B.
much.
Yeah, thank you very
Hopefully,
much.
Cam. Does that look right to you on our screen? Because
Look, it looks good
let's
to me. I can see a picture.
let's just do that anyway. If I go even bigger, there we go.
Yeah.
So this is the Overland track. Now, the reason, like I mentioned before, this is far from an amazing photo. Like it's nice, but what this photo is the experience. So we'd basically been trudging through a couple of days of pretty ordinary weather. It was pretty wet, and then we started to get a bit of sun on a button plane,
Grass. Button
button
grass
grass
play.
plane.
Mm.
Try
How's that
saying
C
that with 2
how's that
cans in.
CC going? Yeah.
And yeah, this was just looking across a valley on day 3. And
I can tell you exactly where that is.
yes, I'm sure you can. That
Yeah.
I think it's sort of pointing. I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I think what the cloud behind is at the bottom of Mount Oakley.
Correct.
So I think those trees are as we're coming, almost getting into the forest section before you do
Yeah, that's
the big,
exactly right.
yeah,
Yeah,
and the
and
hut. Yeah.
I was sort of in between hikers, so I'd sort of spaced myself out a little bit. I had about maybe 300 or 400 meters in front of me and a few hundred meters behind me. I was on my own.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was one of the absolute joyous moments of the overland track. And it was I gave a little yahoo as the sun came out, and
Yeah.
this was probably the first photo I took of any substance on the overland.
Yeah.
So again, it's never going to win any awards, but it's a shot that means a hell of a lot to me.
And I think what you just said then is I think a lot of us have that internal thoughts as well. Like I've done the same thing on that track 1,000 times where I've just given everyone a bit of space, not for them, but for me, just so I can walk along and have that couple 100 meters of space to myself. And you internalize it. You look around, you're like, this is incredible. Like I've literally got this place to myself at the moment. And when the sun pops out, you do a little bit of a yahoo because you're like, this place is it's magic land. Like a little bit of mood, a bit of atmosphere, and it doesn't have to be the greatest shot, but when you marry that shot up to the experience and what you're feeling at the time, then it makes it a special photo. And that's what we should all be aiming for.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I'm going to flick over to the next shot. So
Oh,
this,
look out.
in theory,
Oh,
should be one of yours, Cameron.
oh,
Let's
God.
see. Oh, it is.
Hey, it is. There you go. All righty. So this is one of mine. So this is one of my favorite spots in Tassie, but one of the reasons why it's my favorite spot is because it just delivers almost every time you go out there. And that's Lake Pedder in the southwest of Tassie, which you can access this viewpoint by what's called the Scott's Peak Dam Road. Not many people go down there, not many people know about it, but it's a spectacular road that goes deep down to the south of this lake. And I was there with a good friend of the show, Jamie. We went out there to do some stuff. We had to chop trees down because there'd been a big windstorm. We spent hours chopping trees down with this little matchbox chainsaw that he had in his car that was terrible.
Can
And
I just chip in here? You weren't
yeah,
chopping trees down. You were clearing trees that had fallen over the track.
yeah, that's correct. We weren't chopping forests down. No, we were clearing the road. We were doing parks and wildlife job for him.
Yes.
Yes, we weren't chopping forest down. But it took forever, and we got to this vantage point, and we're looking around, and there wasn't much happening. And I think Jamie and I said, "Oh, maybe we should just pack up and head home." And I sort of said, "Look, let's just give it a bit more time. Let's just wait and see what happens when the sun gets almost down." And on cue, about 5 minutes later, we turned around, and this whole sky just lit up with these sun rays coming through, lighting up this lake. And again, it wasn't the best day for photos. We're actually pretty tired because we've been chopping down trees and moving things off the road, and we're just pretty exhausted. And we got rewarded. So again, the experience of getting this shot was interesting because it's got a story behind it. We put actually a lot of effort in to get to that spot at that time. If we hadn't have moved all those trees off the road, we probably would have got there 2 or 3 hours earlier and gone, oh, this is crap. We're going home.
Yeah, for sure.
So
So it was meant to be, wasn't
it
it?
was meant to be. And yeah, so I've got a few shots from this exact location looking at that exact sort of scene over a few years. And they're all, I think, fantastic in my eyes because they're all sort of different light dancing around. But I was pretty happy with that. And I've just now sold a 36 by 24-inch print, Brendan, of this one, which
That's a win.
that is a win. So I was pretty
Oh,
happy with that.
that's very, very nice. I like
Yeah.
that. Are we gonna tell people what we shot with for these, or
Yeah, well, this is the Olympus OM1, and I think I might have had the long lens. I think I might have had the white lens for this one.
yeah, I'll just quickly flick back because this shot was the Olympus OM5 with their plastic fantastic 40 to 150. Yes, that's right. That is shot with a $200 lens.
Doesn't matter.
Kind of
Doesn't matter.
shows. No, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it worked. So if we go forward one, right. So this was I've actually forgotten what photos I put up. This was another night where
Jesus.
um this was another night where it all came together and the juices flowed and it felt good to be a photographer. This is my muse, Point Lonsdale.
Mm.
I know everybody is sick and tired of me banging on about how much I love Point Lonsdale, but there's a reason, folks. It's because you get photos like that. So this is the entrance to Port Phillip Bay. It's also known as the Rip. Cameron's been through there on the Spirit of Spew
Mhm.
more than once.
Upright and sideways. Yeah.
It is actually one of the most treacherous waterways in the world, apparently. So,
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
as was proven when one of those pilot boats ran aground when we were at BFOP, Cam.
Really?
So, yes,
In
they
in
were
rough weather or just bad
correct.
driving?
No, hit the reef where we took participants early in the year. That reef that sticks out by the jetty there.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, hit the reef, and they had to be rescued. They had to be chopped off there. So it was pretty full on. They lost one of those pilot boats, which are worth a pretty penny.
Wow.
So there you go. The danger money that they get to do that job, they don't get
Yeah.
paid enough. Anyway, what you're looking at there, obviously, is a big wave that looks like it's chasing the boat, but there
Mm,
is quite a bit of distance between the boat and that wave.
yeah.
In fact, I would say there's probably somewhere around the 300-meter mark between
Yeah.
those two. So,
Yeah.
so what you're looking at here is the EM1X with 100 to 400 at 400 mil. I was just one of those nights where the big swell were rolling through. The light was great.
Mm.
Yeah, really happy with that shot.
That is a cool spot, and I only visited that the first time when we did our
Yeah,
DSPS workshop. Was that the start of last year or the year before?
yeah, we did summer and winter this year, so
Right. So this,
we've
yeah,
been there two times.
yeah. So the first time I went there, and I could see that wave rolling in, and I think the first time we were there, it started to build up as we were moving away and going to another location. But yeah, you can see why people love it, and there's been some incredible shots from that location.
Definitely.
So that's pretty cool. But it does look like the boat's about to go down that wave, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, and it was funny because a lot of people, I have this photo on a big canvas in my shop, and people are like, "Whoa, wow,
Yeah.
that's an action shot."
Yeah. Very
Righto.
cool.
So next one, Mr. Blake,
So this is the one I was talking about as one of my favorite moments. So this is
isn't
in
that
the south.
magnificent?
That cloud was just off the charts. So I don't know if I've shot it that well. Like to be honest, I'm not really happy with the foreground. I might have probably could have got some more water reflections, and maybe I haven't edited as well as I wanted to. But it was just one of those moments where the sky just lit up, and like the boat had stopped because we pretty much have the boat driver do what we want him to do. So, and they could see it happening too. And it was one of those moments where the guys that were guiding us, who go down to this place day in, day out, I remember there was two of them at the back of the boat. And when this is all lighting up, I turned around and even they were looking at each other going, oh, have a look at this.
Yeah.
So it was a really sort of out of the box moment. And, it was just really lovely to see. And like I said, we put the camera down for a couple of minutes just to watch it. And it all changed. The whole shape of it changed. It got longer and skinnier, it got brighter and darker and stuff like that. But that was, again, that was on the IM1. I think I just had something like the 12 to 40 on it. It was just a standard lens.
Yep.
And it was just right time, right place. It was just one of those mornings, and you get them anywhere, those real fiery sunrises that you get, and you can sort of see that out the back. There's a bit of that fiery sunrise, but
Yeah.
this rain cloud that was coming across the lake was just in the right place to catch those rays. So it was
So just again, what lake is that?
so that actually that's Bathurst Harbour, sorry, so it's not a
Right.
lake.
Bathurst Harbour. Okay.
So I do a trip which will go in March. It's a 3-day, 2-night camp, but it's in glamping tents, huts and stuff. But you fly down from Hobart along the southern coast, pretty much past the southern point of Tasmania, then you land at a place called Melaleuca. And then they're not tinnies, they're probably 20-seater tinnies or 20-seater boats. We pretty much get access to them and a couple of camp guides and boat pilots, and they take us around for 3 days, take us wherever we want to go in this huge harbour. It's a massive harbour.
Fantastic.
Very cool place. So
Yeah.
definitely one you'd enjoy. I reckon another experience that you would go, okay, this is magic.
Yeah. So, question without notice, the mountain range that I'm looking at there, do you know the
Yep.
name of that or?
Maybe I know the Western Arthurs and the Eastern Arthurs.
Okay.
So that could be part of the Eastern Arthurs.
Yeah, right.
So that's looking almost north from the south of Tassie. So
Gotcha. Yep.
funnily enough, the first photo I put up is probably, as the crow flies, probably about 40 or 50 kilometers just over the other side of those mountains.
Well, it's a hot spot for your
It-
photography.
The southwest of Tasmania, folks, if you're coming to Tassie, you need to put the southwest of Tassie on your to-do list when you're out here, because it gets incredible light, incredible weather, really great conditions, good and bad. It's just a spectacular part of the world.
Love it. All right, let's go. Next one. So,
Oh, I like this one.
I do too. Now, what you're looking at here is, look, it was kind of a fluke because the sun is right behind that dark cloud in the middle of the photo, and we had some sea fog rolling across,
Mm.
and it was the conditions were changed. In fact, we had it yesterday here as well, here in Ocean Grove. So much humidity in the air at the moment, so we're getting temperature inversions and cloud inversions and sea fog and all the whole bit. This was down at, again, Point Lonsdale, but on the backside
Mm.
of the lighthouse, looking obviously west, sort of west southwest across the ocean, across Bass Strait, and yeah, just the conditions were so atmospheric.
Mm.
And folks, what you're looking at there is an iPhone photo.
Mm. God.
So
iPhone 13, no.
no, this is actually the new iPhone.
Well, that doesn't look too bad in
No,
a really
that
small
that that did
format.
that did okay for that shot, but
There is
yeah,
something to be said about fog and sun together. They just work.
it just makes it, doesn't it? It's
It just diffuses the light perfectly.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
really happy with that composition as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I do wish I had my, in inverted commas, real camera with me when I shot that, but I don't know. I don't know if I would have got exactly the same. Well, I wouldn't have got exactly the same moment. So
No.
there's just that little smattering of light on the water
Yeah.
where you know the sun is.
Yeah.
There's something about that image, and I'm really proud of it. I really like it. I just don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because it's so different, and there's not one standout feature in
Yeah.
the image or something like that. I'm not sure.
Sort of less is more in that one. I think like it's you look at it,
Minimalist, yeah.
yeah, you look at it and go, okay, it's just water and a bit of sun, but I think it's the mist that makes it like it's got a real mystery
Well,
about it.
well, I think that it's the color, like
Oh,
it's
and the color.
that makes it. Yeah, that's that gold. It's proper golden, and this is unedited. This is straight
Yeah.
from phone to you, folks. So
Yeah.
yeah, make of that what you will. As much as I bag out the iPhone 15, but it did that one okay.
It's a bucket of shit.
Yep. Next,
Rightio. So this
I know
was
where that is. I know.
this was taken on the same trip that Brendan and I did back in early 2023. So this is just after you head off from Kitchen Hut around the western side of Cradle Mountain as you make your way down into Waterfall Valley. This is the Fagus tree, very famous and popular in Tasmania. So we were walking along. It wasn't the greatest of conditions, um, but it's just color and it's everywhere. So I've always wanted to try and get a shot like this where it's sort of like endless Fagus disappearing into the distance, and that was the sort of trip that we're able to do it. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I was really happy with this one. Again, it's nothing too special, but it's a memory. I can sort of tell you how I was feeling. I can tell you what sort of camera I was using, what settings, a whole lot. So this is the IM1. This would be the Leica 8 to 18 lens, which is being used a fair bit this year. But yeah, it's got a real sort of Jurassic feel about it, especially with the little pencil pines in the background.
Yeah.
But I love those kind of scenes. I love having that foreground interest and sort of vanishing into the background with, again, like we're talking about fog on your shot, the last one before. Again, fog sort of really draws your eye out to sort of look how far you can see back into those trees,
Mm.
because they sort of keep vanishing and vanishing and vanishing. So, yeah, I was happy with that one. Again, good memories, good people on the trip. It was great fun, and yeah, it's good.
I'll tell you what I was thinking when you took that photo. How the hell am I going to do this for 6 days?
It is about then after you leave
Yeah.
civilization
Yeah.
behind.
It's like, oh, that's right.
Yeah,
We're past the point of no return. It's that way or
mm,
bust. And
yeah, yeah.
one thing
You
I
know what?
loved about
Yeah,
this and this area in particular was it was my first taste of the wild
yeah,
Tasmania. You know,
yes,
and
yeah, yeah.
I think that's what I really digged about it.
Yeah, the one thing I love, like I love and I hate this section of the track because this is, like I said, it's sort of just after Kitchen Hut, so you sort of really start. You sort of leave the tourist crowds, the day crowds behind. You start getting into your journey. But the thing I hate about this section is there is so much to shoot in that
Yeah.
section between Kitchen Hut and the first hut you go to.
Yeah.
But you're always trying to get to that first campsite. I would love to get out there, and most likely will next year. I'll probably go for a bit of a walk out there and spend a good day out there at the back and have a look around in the Fagus time because yeah, it's a stunning place and
Oh,
yeah,
it's incredible. yeah, it was a real treat to be there. It was where the track had the big, like a lot of rocks to a lot of boulders and
Yeah,
stuff. So
it's right. It's also one of the shittest walking parts of the track
yeah,
too.
slow going, I think was. So
Yeah,
no, no, that was cool. I enjoyed that.
rumor has it they're trying to fix that section, but I haven't seen any proof of that yet. But yeah,
I kind of don't want them to. It's like a badge of honor, right?
you know what? If they cut out that, what is it? It's about 400 or 500 meters of just shit. If they cut that out, I reckon it would be. I reckon I could almost do that walk blindfolded.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's the only part of the track where you've got to severely concentrate on
Oh
every
yeah,
take.
yeah, yeah.
The rest of it you can sort of bluff your way through, but that section is just like any slip of the ankle and you're in trouble.
No, exactly.
So,
All right, let's move right along. So this is it. This is the shot that
oh, oh,
I actually I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I think this is the best photo I took in 2023.
mhm.
Um,
Fair enough.
yeah,
It's good.
and I don't mind or care what other people think of it. Again, because of the emotion that was attached to it.
Yeah,
I got to the Summer Apostles. I was ready to go. There were people everywhere, Cam. It
yeah,
was jam. It was like, I don't know, maybe someone said, "Hey, this is the time when the sun sets right behind the apostles. So this is where you
right.
want to." And I'll be honest, I did not know that. I fluked it. I got hit
Yeah.
there on the day that it sets right
Mm,
behind, and I was looking. I had my tripod set up, and I was looking, and I had my long lens. This is the M1X with the 100 to 400. Um, Zoomed right in on the sun. I went, I don't know. I need some point of difference here. So I just
mm.
stepped back a little bit and bought this crappy little bloody tree that was overhanging and brought it in,
Yeah, it
silhouetted
works.
it out. And I
Yep.
think it does. I think it adds
Mm.
so many layers of depth to it. Like it's a real deep photo. So,
Well, I think, yeah,
um,
I think the thing I love about it is that like almost every single photo of the 12 apostles you see is a grand view of ocean, cliffs,
that's
and
right.
apostles. This is just one and a half apostles
That's right.
hidden, and you framed it up with some foliage, which I don't think I've
Yeah.
seen a shot like this before
Yeah.
from down that way, which is
And that's
awesome.
what I make it my mission every time I go there
Mm,
to come
yep.
away with a different angle. Like, I don't know, and it feels like one of those places that you're never going to exhaust it. Like
No.
it's endless, infinite. How many different compositions you can get
Well,
of that place?
especially if you start using shallow depth of field shooting through foliages and things like
Correct.
that, and
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
creative, you can turn a location that's been done to death into like what looks like a brand new location that no one's ever seen before. So
yeah, yeah. I've done nothing with this image other than put it on the Down South photo show. So you guys have
yeah,
got a little exclusive.
ooh,
I put it up when I shot it, I think.
yeah, yeah,
But since then, I haven't really done anything with it at all. If
yeah.
I had my time over, I probably wouldn't have shot it at 400 ISO. I would have cranked it back a little bit. I think it's a wee bit noisy, but that whatever.
Nah, that means nothing,
Um,
doesn't it?
but the way it's framed, and then the sun is framed by that little cloud as well. It's
Yeah.
yeah. No, I felt really. I think I took this shot, looked at the back of the screen, and went, "Well, that's it. I'm done. I've got the shot." So.
They're cool moments when you do that. You look at the back and go, I don't think I can do that any better than what I have.
I can't improve on this.
And then
Yeah.
you just your brain just says, no, you can't go yet. You've only been here 5 minutes. You must stay longer. And
Yeah.
then all you do is just create crap for the rest of the trip that you're there. And then
You're almost sort of shooting looking for a bonus, and it
yeah,
never comes, and you might as
no,
well just put your camera away
yep, yeah,
and just
absolutely,
enjoy the rest of the sunset, knowing that you've got it in the bag, sort of thing.
yeah,
Like you've bagged your big fish. You don't
yeah,
need, and you've fed the family. You don't need any more. So
yeah. And if something pops out, then yeah, okay, you take it. But
yeah,
otherwise,
exactly.
again, you just enjoy the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's
that is
very
it.
cool.
I'm going to look on that image. I'm going to print one of them for myself. I think and again, I know that other people are looking at it going, really that, but it means a lot to me, and I think that's what
All
is
it
it's
matters.
all about. Here you go, Cam.
Oh, that looks familiar. So this is this my last one? It is, isn't it?
Probably. I don't know.
Probably. What have we done? One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, this is the last one. Yeah. So again, this
I
is.
think there's two to come.
Oh, is there? Right here. So again, this is my current screensaver on my computer here. I'm looking at as well. But it was just one of those surreal moments where you're standing somewhere that you might have thought you never would stand. It'd be like going to Antarctica. I don't think I'll ever get to Antarctica, but it'd be like standing there and just going, okay,
Never say
wow.
never, Cameron.
Never say never. I know, I know. But it was just one of those moments, and credit to the company that took us through this Antelope Canyon. There's about 4 or 5 different companies that do it, but we had a really good guide. She was a bit of a legend in the game. Apparently, she'd been doing it for years, but she knew exactly how long to wait for that first group to go through and clear out the walkways for us. And anyone, it was quite funny. In her, she must have been was in Arizona, so there's quite a lot of southern border people there, Mexicans and South Americans that might move up there. And she had an accent. I don't exactly know where she was from, but every time the group behind us popped the head around a corner, man, she was hostile. It was hilarious that she's put people, you'll get back around that corner and wait. Like you're not allowed to. This is my group. Bugger off. Like she had, and like the people, like it was like watching a deer in the headlights. People like, oh my god, what have I done? Like, have I just
Yeah.
ruined something? So
Yeah.
she was fantastic. So we got plenty of time with free passage all the way through this canyon. And this is just a shot I liked. I really liked how the light was sort of bright at the back and sort of dark as you get closer to the camera. All handheld on the OM1 because you can't take tripods in there. Um, but yeah, it's just one of those moments where there's a million different photos of these canyons and millions more better than this one. But for me, this is just a moment where I thought, you know what, I never thought I'd actually stand here, and actually, I remember 5 Star Dan was there with me as well, and we were sort of hanging at the back a bit, and he was really impressed. And I think we both had a bit of a moment, being cousins and best mates, we sort of know each other really well. And we both had a bit of a moment where we thought, how lucky are we that
Yeah.
we're here scouting for a trip we're doing next year. Like we felt ultra privileged to be able to have, I guess working in a job that I love, doing what I love, and he gets to come along and help out, which he loves as well. So, it's more of a tribute, I guess, to customers and guests that come on my tours to allow me the opportunity to, do this as well. So
Isn't it
had a
amazing to think that shot is handheld?
yeah, and it's sharp as it's going to get printed big. I have already framed one up. It's printed big.
Take
Uh,
that back in time to someone, even in the early 2000s, and
yeah,
say this is shot handheld, they won't believe you.
no, they won't. No, and it's sharp as a tack. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
ISO. I think it was ISO 800. It's shooting around about f4. I think it was about a second or two exposure. Um,
Ridiculous.
yeah, and it's just amazing. So,
Yep.
when I print it out, I'll add a little bit of sharpening to it just to help it if it wants to go a bit larger in size. But overall, I was like, even and back at camera, like all I've done is added a bit of contrast and
Yeah.
maybe brought the shadows up a little bit and just made
I don't
sure.
think it needs anything, mate. And at
No,
correct viewing distance, it's going to be
exactly
totally
right.
awesome.
Like I said, I've got one framed up over here, and I reckon it looks really nice. It's only a smaller size, but
No, it's a
uh,
cracker.
yeah, it's a
Absolute
beautiful,
cracker.
amazing spot. And if you ever get the chance to go there, definitely do it.
Love it. Awesome. I think there's more. Yeah. So this shot,
This is
this
cool
is
too.
on, this is out a plane window over Bass Strait, heading down, flying between Melbourne and Launceston to do the
Yeah,
overland track.
yeah,
And this was just, yeah, an opportune moment. And I don't want people to think for a minute that they have to have the latest gear and the best camera
no,
and this and that and the lenses and the tools and Photoshop and all this sort of stuff. This is the iPhone 13 Pro out the
you
bloody
can
Jetstar plane window.
you can tell it's much better than the 15.
And you just there's nothing beats opportunity.
No,
And I'm watching this sunrise. I had Jacko beside me, and g'day to Jacko. He watches, and you know, I scored the window seat by, well, probably I planned that, but and I'm just watching the sunrise as we took off, and I thought this is going to be pretty good, and this smattering of cloud, and
mm,
man, I love that photo.
yeah, that
It,
should
it
have
rep-
if that should have given you a pretty good heads up of how good Tassie is.
Well, true.
Mm.
It represents, the beginning of an awesome journey, but it also there's the gold color. I mean,
Yeah,
it was like, am I seeing? Is this real?
I love the fact that there's cloud shadows.
Yeah, yeah,
I
and
reckon
you're
I reckon
above
it's
them.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like who said aerials were shit?
Well, yeah,
Aerials
that's true. It
aerials
wasn't.
are awesome. Like,
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't hard. I just
that
sort
sh
of.
that should win every landscape photographer of the year competition hands down.
Anyway, iPhone 13 Pro, plane window, Jetstar flight,
You know
fucking
what? That could
JQ 222 or whatever it is.
that could be one of the most incredibly unique photos ever taken in the history of photography for a few reasons.
Okay.
One, it's on an iPhone, looks
Yep.
amazing.
Yep.
Two, it's out of a plane window with no reflections. That's even more impressive.
Thank
And
you.
three, it's on a Jetstar flight that's running on time. Like, that's incredible. Like, usually you
Yeah.
wouldn't get sunrise. Usually you get like the middle
A
of the
tip
day.
for young players flying Jetstar: get the first plane out of anywhere,
Yes, yep.
always on time.
It is, isn't it? Yep.
Always.
I had a discussion with my brother over Christmas Day or the Christmas night. Now he doesn't come here down here very often. And I said to him, next year maybe Christmas everyone can come down to our house, whatever. They may or may not do it. And he came up with this stat. He goes, "Oh, I was looking the other day at all the airports around Australia, and Hobart has the most delayed flights out of any capital city in Australia." I said, "Yeah,
Hmm.
if you catch the 9:30 p.m. one, it's always delayed if not cancelled. But
Correct.
get on the first one, and you are on time if not early most times." So
Absolutely.
small tip for you: get on the first plane, not the last one.
Yeah. And the hilarious thing about flying to Tasmania from Melbourne, particularly to Launceston,
Yeah,
it's like we're
5 seconds.
airborne. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're prepare for landing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you get up, and they go bing bong.
Yeah, that's
The
right.
captain's taken off the seatbelt sign. They go
Yeah.
bing bong. Captain's
Yeah.
asked to put the seatbelt on for
You
landing.
hardly it hardly feels like
No,
the engines have got up to speed and you're
no,
coming into land.
no. You might have enough time to take a piss, and that's about it.
And that's about it.
Yeah,
In this case, I think I had a coffee and that was about it.
yeah.
One photo to come. There you go,
Oh,
mate.
there you go. I do have one more. Okay, yes. So, you know this photo well because you printed it on a massive canvas for me.
Gee, it looked good on canvas.
It
Massive.
does. It does look good on canvas, massive.
50 by
Again,
30 inches, if I remember rightly.
well, not one to boast, but you know. um, but again, this is just one of those moments that was. This is just one of those moments. We need a little drum kit. Ting. This is just one of those moments again where it was all about the experience in the moment as opposed to necessarily the photo. Um, we were in massive swells in these little boats that the Rob Pennicott tours off Bruny Island do, to the point where we had three boats out there, and even though between the two-ray radios between all boats, they were in hysterics at how big these waves were. They're like, they're like, well, we shouldn't be out here, but how bloody good is this? They're just gnarly as. But this is a shot. This is taken with the OM1 with a 75 mil 1.8. So this is a 150 mil lens in huge swells, and I reckon I took about 10 shots trying to get this lined up, sort of going up and down in the boat. But it just had all this sea spray. So below these cliffs, there's all these massive waves crashing, just creating this spray. And it's just the rocks and the color. It's got a bit of lichen, it's got a bit of grass. It just worked. But again, it was just that moment. I had Jamie was with me on this trip, and we had a couple of customers. One had their head in the spew bag, and I'm taking photos of this thing. It's just like it was just a story that you'll always remember. Like, oh, when did you take that shot? Oh, yeah, she was spewing up. The boats were going to tip over in 20-meter waves, and so yeah, it's just a moment. But yeah, I was really happy with it that it turned out well, and again, it printed really well, and yeah, it was good
Great.
fun.
Awesome. Gee, you live in a good part of the world, mate.
It is a nice part. Even today, I came back from Cradle Mountain and just driving home, like, geez, this place is pretty.
Yeah, no, it's a
So,
good spot. All
mm.
right. I've
Oh,
stopped sharing that now. We're back.
it's back to us now. Oh, look out, we've got our
Is
ugly
it?
heads
Oh,
on there.
how disappointing for everyone.
Yeah,
So I hope you
especially.
enjoyed that, folks. That was a little run through of some of the fun we got up to. And to be perfectly honest, I did have a hard time choosing just five because
Yeah,
I was really happy with my productivity this year. I think you were as well, Cam,
yeah,
with what we put out this year. So
yeah.
yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that.
Do you want to know? Here's a fact without asking. When
Question
you're,
without notice.
yeah, well, sort of. When you're asking me to get those photos together about 3 seconds before we went on air,
Yes.
I sorted my Lightroom catalog by 2023, and I took 18,970 photos.
Holy smokes.
Hmm.
That's a lot.
So out of those, there's maybe six that are good.
We talked about spray and pray, didn't we?
Hmm, I don't know why there's so many. I haven't done any weddings or anything like that. I did a couple of things that were like, even the other week I was in Melbourne and did a band shoot. I don't know if you ever heard of these guys, Dean and Carruthers.
Yes, I certainly have.
Yeah, they've been playing around. They're playing still. My brother does a bit of work for them, and I went and did like 1,500 shots them the other day. So like, there's some things I've done where there's been lots of shots. But yeah, 18, almost 19,000 shots for the year.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like it's when you say, "Oh, I shot that many photos," but over a year, that's probably about average for a
Yeah.
landscape photographer. I mean, you'll go out, like, for example, the Mali trip that we did for 4 days.
Well, there
I
you
mean,
go. That's right. Yeah.
you probably took 2,000 frames then,
Easy.
so,
Yeah.
and that's on
That's
one 4 day trip.
so
So
it's only an average of 1,600 a month. So that's not
it's
much.
not that much really.
No.
So, which is
Yeah.
400 a week. So
Yeah. But you're right. Any workshop, I would come home with a couple of thousand easily.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, shall we move on to the photography word of the week,
Oh,
Cameron?
yes. Yes.
Because you
Let's
love it when I have to get my mouth around these words.
mouth around what? Jeez,
These
come on, mate.
words that you put
This,
up for me, because Cam
well,
has his photography
oh yeah, yeah.
dictionary.
Let me get it out for you.
Okay,
Here it
thank
is.
you.
Oh, hang on, I gotta
What's it
try.
what's it called?
Oh, it's called I can't get it right on the camera.
The Focal Encyclopedia of Photography.
Oh yeah. Good luck, son.
The photography words, or in this case, phrase of the week, is corpuscular theory.
What is the corpuscular theory,
How did
Brendan?
I go?
I would say you're right. Corpuscular theory. Yep.
Corpuscular theory. I have no idea.
Beep. Right, yeah. Okay, you're not beeping that out, eh?
I'm
Don't,
happy to say I would
don't,
not have a clue
don't,
about
don't- you better not beep that out. That's hilarious.
corpuscular. What? That's
Corpuscular.
New Year's
So,
Eve. We're getting a bit loose on New Year's Eve. That's fine.
yeah, so now I've got to try and explain it to you. Right, yeah. So, a theory for the propagation of light in particles or corpuscular form advanced by Sir Isaac Newton. So this theory
Right.
states basically that light rays were made up of many tiny corpuscles which traveled at very high speeds and had characteristic colors. These corpuscles were thought to travel in straight lines unless reflected or refracted. The phenomenon of diffraction resulted in the abandonment, yeah, of the corpuscular theory. So it's about light particles and how they travel and that they have characteristic colors.
That is fantastic.
Yep. So
I
will
like
you
it.
ever use that again?
No,
Probably not.
never.
It has a bit of a footnote down the bottom, which I probably should have read first. See also quantum theory.
Right. Okay, this is proper like physics.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Let's go.
remember, you might remember this back in our camera house days
I don't remember
when
much of those days.
our good friends at Panasonic came out with a 3 CCD chip that broke
Yes,
that. So you had one sensor that recorded red, one sensor that recorded green, and
yes,
one sensor that recorded blue. So
yes.
three sets. I could have stood there to a customer and said, "It's all about the corpuscular theory on this camera,"
Well, that's true.
and they would have
Um,
bought it.
Well, this is the thing. Like, this is what I love about photography, which is lost a bit these days, I must admit. But like, this is the book I used from uni 20 odd years ago.
Yes.
And I studied applied physics and scientific photography as my degree. And we lived out of this book. Like, we had to look and research things and look things
Yeah.
up. But there is so much science behind photography. Like, light in itself is just phenomenal. Like, how light works and how reflects and does things on sensors and film. And that's just incredible how it all works. So, um, it's not just as simple as point and shoot. There's a lot of sciencey stuff going on. That's
Yeah.
the technical term for it, sciencey stuff. But well done. You did well. You dropped
What do
the
you mean I
F
did
bomb. I
well?
love it.
I didn't have a not any idea.
Yeah. So we got a few more to get through, but it's a pretty big book.
It is a big book. Well, maybe
Yeah.
we'll get up to episode 248,000 and we'll get them all done.
Wow.
Dear Cam,
Maybe. Oh, we got a dear cam, have we?
well, it's New Year's Eve, so
Hey,
we might as well.
there's 923 pages.
I thought you were going to say there's
Episodes.
923 people watching us right now, but we're not live. Well,
Oh,
no,
my God.
or are we? Or are
Well,
we?
you started off making it sound like we were, but now we're not.
We might be. Anyway, dear Cam. Oh,
Yes.
hello, Brendan and Cam. It doesn't even say dear Cam. It's hello, Brendan and Cam. Now, look, Peter, if you're going to send us a dear Cam, you're going to have to start it with dear bloody Cam. All right. So,
Well, I'm telling you now, this whole segment's turned into yours, and I'm a footnote.
well, that's my way of just getting my ego massaged a little
Have
bit.
have we had this question before? I can't remember.
Let's find out. Hello, Brendan and Cam. Peter, we won't give away his last
Peter
name. Peter
H.
from South Australia. From South Australia. Can you be a little bit more specific?
Well, there's not much going on in
Peter,
South Australia.
Peter, you got to go back and
Do you
dear
know
Cam,
do you
and
know
where are you from in South Australia?
do you know Coles shuts at 4 o'clock on a Saturday in Adelaide?
You told me this.
Oh my God, mate. Don't
I
get me
know.
started on Adelaide. Adelaide's lovely, just not if you want to eat.
What,
on a
which
weekend.
which state is more in the 70s, South Australia or Tasmania?
Okay, I would say they're very similar, but
I think
they're
they are too.
they're a different parallel of the 70s.
Yeah.
So I'd say Adelaide is the really nice 70s where there wasn't much going on apart from nice music and pretty
Mhm.
things, where Hobart's a bit more of the proper 70s where there's a bit
Well,
more
I'm
stuff
going
going
to
on.
Adelaide this year, so I better be nice because Peter will beat me up if I get to Adelaide.
Especially with his monopod.
He will do this kick a Vic thing, which I don't like. Peter from South Australia here. Just curious about your thoughts on the monopod. Are they any good? Question mark. I have just snapped a leg on my heavy. Oh, I thought he'd snapped a leg. I just snapped a leg on my heavy duty tripod, and it's
Awesome.
now in the bin. I have a Manfrotto monopod, but have never used it. Am I going to? Oh, I am going to Hawaii in early 2024. Look at you
Aloha.
go. Hey,
Mm.
nice work, Pete. And hope it's good enough. Do monopods serve the purpose, or should I bite the bullet and get a new tripod? Thank you, Pete.
All right, Pete. Monopods. They are about as useful as tits on a bull,
Yes,
in my
I an ashtray on a motorcycle.
yeah, like a flywire door on a submarine.
That's
They
correct.
are completely used. Well, if you're doing sports and animal wildlife and you want some balance to sort of help pan and stuff, then they're fine. I must admit, I used to keep a monopod in my car purely for the sake of using it if I needed to protect myself, because that's all I
Yes,
felt was good for. But yeah, like if that's the only thing you had, then yeah, you could make it work. But if you've got the option to go buy another uh, tripod, especially if you go into Hawaii where you might want to do some long exposures of waterfalls and beach scenes and stuff like that,
volcanoes,
volcanoes and stuff like that, I would be saying
T-Rexes.
T-Rexes, yeah, little, that's right. Could be anything.
Mm,
Elvis.
mm,
So I would say I would go and bite the bullet and buy a new tripod. Doesn't mean you have to spend thousands of dollars on a tripod. You can get a good tripod for a few $100s. Um,
absolutely.
so, and if you're not sure, I'd still go buy a fairly cheap and nasty one just for the trip, so you got a tripod to take with you. But
Peter,
mon
get yourself a Manfrotto Be-Free tripod
Manfrotto be free. This is not sponsored by Manfrotto.
at all. It should be,
Nor
but it's not.
nor that should be our game. Our whole goal for 2024 is to
Get a
get
sponsor.
one sponsor.
One.
One.
Just one.
Just one sponsor. You know what
Yes.
though? We're gonna regret the day we do get a sponsor, because it means we're gonna have to do more technical stuff and like promos and insert things and
You mean sponsors other than Cam Blake Photography and Ocean Grove Camera and Photo, of
well,
course.
they're our number one and two sponsors,
That's
but
right. That's right.
I mean like a proper one.
Yes. Yeah, there's one that actually gives.
One that yeah, gives, not just takes.
That's right.
Anyway, back to Peter's question. Yes, get yourself a tripod, Pete, before you go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Or go to Hawaii and buy one cheap over there. They might be cheaper in Hawaii.
Not as silly as it sounds because
Hmm.
you might have to lug the thing. Like go, Pete, when you're at the airport, go into duty free, buy yourself a tripod for
Yep.
60, $70, and then give it to some kid with a camera when you're in
Yep.
Hawaii. So there you go, mate.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then don't worry about it. It's basically like you're hiring it.
Yeah. That's an
Yeah.
option. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
I'll definitely do that, Pete.
Yeah.
So thank you. If you have a Dear Cam question, please send it into us. You can hit up the links in the description. You can go to
How's
our
your
Facebook
Canadian
page.
how's your Canadian club going?
Yes, and it's New Year's Eve, Cam.
Yeah,
Come
oh
on,
yeah, it's kicking in. You've been drinking all day, haven't you?
it's New Year's Eve. We've got to do this.
Oh yeah.
Beer donations. Thank you, Mal, for
Oh,
donating another
Mallory.
beer.
Mallory?
Thank you, Mallory, for
Oh,
donating
Mallory.
another beer to us.
I think that's all it donated. I probably should
Look,
just double check.
if you would like to donate us a beer, dsps.com.au, you can buy us a beer. What buying us a beer does is actually support the channel. Yeah, we might buy a beer here or there, but when we've got to upgrade our microphones or when we've got to pay for our YouTube subscription or our bloody Podbean thingy, it all goes towards keeping us
Oh, hang on. There's a few
afloat.
others.
Oh, there are more.
Yeah,
Fire away.
Jenny also bought us one.
Would that be Jenny C?
Jenny C.
Thank you,
Every
Jenny
time she
C.
watches the episode, she buys us a beer. But can I just say, for the whole year 2023, or
Yes.
whenever we introduced this crazy idea of buying us alcohol,
Yes.
I must admit my beer fridge has been full all year.
Right. That
Probably
makes
not.
one of us.
I was going to say probably not yours because all the money comes into my PayPal account. but that's okay. You just shout out when you need some, and I'll
That's
send
fine.
some your way. But no, thank you to everyone that supported us.
Oh,
Like you
by the
said,
way, that reminds me, I bought a new camera too
when?
today.
All right. What'd you buy?
I,
GFX.
I forgot to mention this.
Oh, well, hang on. Let's rewind. Hang on. Let's cut. Go back.
Go back again.
Yeah. What have you bought? No, you've.
A DJI Pocket 3.
Did you buy the Osmo?
Yes, I did.
Ah, you cheeky mofo.
Is on its way to me. I probably won't get it until the end of
Ah,
January, but that's fine. I don't. There's no stock, so I'll
right.
get it eventually.
Right. Okay. How much they slug you for that one?
I can't even remember. And the
Like,
reason for this is because we are improving what we deliver to our beer
are we?
donators.
Well, it's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because this week, as you know, I went up to Cradle Mountain and I've started doing a little bit of a video
Yes.
about. So I've put together a little bit. I didn't get exactly what I wanted at Cradle Mountain, so I probably have to wait a little bit longer to finish that video off. But
Right.
the idea is that each month or so we're going to, well, hopefully each month we're going to put out a bit of a instructional, hands-on in the field type of video where either Brendan and I go out and we'll sort of show you how we set up shots and get stuff done. It won't be Thomas Heaton. We know that much. It's not going to be that kind of
That
quality.
guy has gone to another level. He is so good at the YouTube game.
Why?
I just find his videos so entertaining.
Mm.
Thomas, when are you coming on the show? Come on, Tom, please.
Should we let out who we've invited on the show?
No. We can't give anything away until we actually get them on the bloody show. Then the
Well,
expectations.
it's not going to happen. But we can always put it out there.
No,
Can we give him a hint?
No. Yes.
Well, how do we give him a hint without giving it away?
That's right. No, we can't. We can't do that. We can't.
No. Okay, we'll have to wait.
A bit more housekeeping. So,
Mm.
yes, it's New Year's Eve. You have one day left today. If it's already next year, bad luck, you've missed it, to enter our summer comp on the Down South Photo Show Facebook page. So if you go to our Facebook, just search Down South Photo Show in Facebook if you haven't already. You can like us there, you can follow us there, and you can enter our summer photo comp. Now, we have had some banging entries, and I say this every month when we have the comps. The entry, the quality of image is absolutely brilliant. There's been some stunning.
Apart from the placemaker, what are they? The placeholder with the surfers. That's a bit.
Yeah.
crap,
Sorry, that was just mine.
We've had over 50 entries, I believe.
Amazing.
And just scrolling through now, you know what I'm liking, and I don't know how much you've looked at them but I'm liking the fact that they're definitely summer shots, but not all of them are in color. And I like that. I like people doing a bit different. It looks like there's some guy who's put up, well, he's going to get disqualified. That's an aerial. There's two aerials. Tom Putt, you're disqualified. He's photoshopped in people
We just
jumping
see
off
his
a cliff.
name and he gets disqualified. Really?
Yeah. He tried to call me today. I didn't answer.
Yeah, not surprised. Why would you?
No.
He's just going to talk about himself. You know that.
I do have something I do like in that. There is one photo in there that I like.
Okay.
Which is cool. But yeah, you got a few days still. We might put out something on the Facebook page this week beforehand.
Just to sort of, as a reminder, I know our number one beer donator messaged me to say, "Where's the link?" I'm like, "Come on, Granddad.
Come on, Mallory.
Sort it out."
I can't hang shit on Mallory. He's coming to bloody Utah.
Mallory's giving you quite a sum of money.
Yeah, Mallory's paying for my summer pretty much.
That's right.
Yeah. So put it in there. It's if you go to the DSPS Facebook page, there's a pinned post. So it's up the very top, and the pinned post has a placeholder of two surfers walking across the beach in sunset.
Yes.
So you
At Ocean
shouldn't miss
Grove.
that one. So you just click on that, and it'll take you to the link.
Now, last bit of homework and for the
year, we're done.
For the year, pretty much. Cameron and I, that guy on the other screen or in your other ear, if you're listening to the podcast, is coming to my neck of the woods to host once again our one-day Bellarine Peninsula photography workshop, that
we have two of.
Which is so much fun. Like, we have a ball. You will learn a lot. You'll be inspired to take great photos in an awesome part of the world, which is my backyard. So I love showing it off. I know my way around this joint pretty well now. So January the 18th, which I believe is the Thursday, we still have 2 spots left. So
We
the
do.
Friday one, the day after, is sold out completely, but we still have 2 spots left for January the 18th, which is very, very soon. So if you've got a spare Thursday, January the 18th available, why not jump in your car, head down.
Do we say it starts at 2 o'clock?
Around 2 o'clock,
Yeah,
and goes right through till sunset. So you're about 7 hours with us. God damn it. Imagine that.
We bring in an esky.
That goes without saying. I think the Canadian clubs might find their way in there. They're quite good.
I might bring some hard solo.
Yeah, that's right. And just a little Ocean Grove camera and photo homework. The workshops I'm running with Glenn Lavender, 2 spots left. So which happened. The January one is sold out. The February one only has 2 spots left now. So jump on. There's links in description. You'll find us. And if you can't find them, just hit us up. We'll tell you exactly where you need to go. So, but yeah, the workshops that Cam and I run have been very, very popular. Our Tassie one's already sold out. Our Great Ocean Road one is well on the way to being sold out.
Yep.
Are we announcing the second Tassie one yet, Cameron, or not?
Not yet. We might
up our sleeve.
Yeah, we might. You know,
that's a teaser, folks.
There will be another Tasmania DSPS workshop happening in 2024.
Yes.
It'll be the second half of 2024.
I'm very excited about that. I'm excited about all our workshops, but that's going to be cool.
I'm just excited in general.
I am. And don't forget, folks, Mali 2024 is now up. So if you want to join us in 2024 for the Mali tour, which this year was brilliant, please come along and do that. Cam, this has been one of the longest podcasts we've ever done.
Yeah. So how far did people get this week? That's
right. Let's see. If you made it to whatever time this is, 90 minutes or whatever it is on this podcast, please let us know. That's right. Exactly.
That's it.
Thanks for a big year, Cam. I hope you enjoyed yourself in 2023. We already sort of banged on about how much we love each other in episode 100, so we won't do it again in 5 episodes later. So,
you missed a bit under the best photos top 5.
Oh, did I? Hang on, I'll let me scroll up. Yeah, I'm pretty glad I missed that as well. Thank you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, thank you. It's been another great year. Is this the third year?
Technically, our 3rd year. Yes.
God, that's weird, isn't it?
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Are we going to get to 1,000 subs next year?
Are we going to do 1,000 episodes? I thought you were going to say.
No, 1,000 subs on the YouTubes.
I'm very confident that we will tick over 1,000 subs next year. So
if you've listened this far and you're listening from a country that's not Australia,
and you're not a subscriber,
we would love for you to just subscribe, but we'd also love for you to maybe share the show on your little Facebook groups that you're part of or camera clubs. Be great to get more international people from England or the UK, or USA tuning in.
Yep.
Because apparently us Australians are pretty funny and we have a bit more of a lighthearted,
funny looking,
a bit of fun, a bit more of a lighthearted view on photography. So it might be just up the alley. Instead of listening to Thomas Heaton, who's all proper and trim, maybe listen to us instead.
Yeah, I think we're a bit more like Gavin Hardcastle.
Yeah, well, we asked him to come on the show. He didn't say no.
He didn't completely say no, did he? He didn't sort of shut us down. He just politely declined.
Maybe he did shut us down politely. I don't know.
God damn it! Did we fall for it?
You know what? I reckon we're going to get this person I've asked.
Okay. And I told you what I would give you if that happened. So get ready. Is
that going to be recorded as well?
Probably not. Look, Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you enjoy your 2024. We will enjoy your fireworks if you're going out to shoot fireworks, and take any advice that we gave you earlier and ignore it and do whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, yeah, get out there and try.
Absolutely. Unsure if we're doing an episode in the first week of January. We'll see. We might take a week off, but anyway, you'll find out. All said and done, Cameron?
I think so. Yes, I think that has been it for 2023.
Love it.
Look forward to 2024.
That's it. That's the podcast. Thanks for joining us for episode 106 of the Down South Photo Show. We will see you next year for episode 107. Bye.
Ciao. Oh, beer time.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, cheers.